There we go. You know what? I forgot to get ready. Here we go. Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is Jeff. Had to use my deep voice for that.
I see that. Or I hear that, I should say.
You like that? Well,
I did. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of, we may not see me much today because I might be rebooting my computer on an endless cycle of internet issues like I usually have. So, good morning, Joe. How are you? I'm getting ready for our heat wave is finally coming to an end. I think this is just
below 110.
Yes. Well, it's been below 110 for a while, but according to the news, the world's still burning. Like we keep giving all these like, oh my gosh, we broke this record. We're above the average. Like we're getting a lot of that stuff, which we are. It's a little bit hotter than normal. Good morning. Hey, I'm sorry, David. I might have jinxed it. Oh no.
I blew it. Oh no.
But our summer lasted longer than it should have lasted. So I think, which is actually having a weird effect on like the holidays. Like people aren't as excited about Halloween coming up because like it's still over 100 degrees and 110.
Who wants to go gather candy when it might melt on your way home?
Exactly. So it's having kind of a weird effect. Like it's like, it's still summertime. I can't think about Halloween, but it's October 12th. Like Halloween's 2 weeks away. So
the last thing I saw something on Facebook where it was recording another 113 plus day.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, and then what we'll do is we will eliminate more farmland and put in more concrete and wonder why it never cools down at night.
I have just become the it's a desert.
It is a desert. So
people aren't meant to live in concrete cities in the desert.
No, but it's finally cool. I think this is just going to be the new norm. We'll probably just have to live with it moving forward.
I think we should change the name of Arizona to Tatooine.
That might work.
Everyone should live underground.
Hey, I've always said that we should have basements in Arizona, but I have a conspiracy theory about it. Like they say, well, we can't do it because the soil's too thick. I'm like, modern day construction can take down mountains. I think we can dig a hole in the ground in Arizona to build a basement so people can cool off. But
it all comes down to cost effectiveness.
Yes.
We can do it, but do we want to pay the dollars for it?
Yeah, that's probably the bigger thing. But
I know for a fact there are homes where I used to run as Orkin Pest Control that have basements.
They were just in the upper echelons of community. But if you have a basement, though, you have cooler weather because of the ground and all that. So,
but it all comes down to what you're willing to spend.
Things west of the Rockies, yeah, it is less of a thing west of the Rockies, and they blame it. I think it's just the electric companies and the AC companies. When I moved to Arizona, AC was considered a luxury.
Oh yeah, I used to visit my grandfather out there, and it was all swamp coolers.
Yeah, we used to have nothing but swamp coolers, and a lot of people didn't like. Well, first of all, swamp coolers ruin paper inside homes. Not good for gamers.
Anybody collects books.
Yeah. Anybody with books, stamps, paper, product, yeah, not pretty.
But I have to say, I was impressed with how the swamp coolers at my grandfather's worked. They work perfectly.
Except for 2 months out of the year.
Yeah.
2 months out of the year, swamp coolers in Arizona, monsoon season, which we didn't have one this year.
I don't refer to my air conditioner here as an air conditioner. It is my humidity control.
But now in Arizona, ACs are like mandatory. Like you don't see swamp coolers as much.
If you want to live, yes. And I don't mean live as in live in luxury. I mean, if you want to stay alive.
Physically want to live. So anyways, so we're seeing better weather. We're seeing better temperatures, which is cool. I'm excited about this because I have some serious yard work that needs to get done. Finishing sprinkler system work. Like I had a blowout. I think I told you I had a blowout in my sprinkler system.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had to tear up my valve controls and all that. So I didn't finish that because 110 degrees outside. I'm like, what was broken, and I moved on. I'm like, I'll come back to this later. So,
I just noticed that JP logged in. Morning, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, JP's with us.
Well, did I tell you on my whirlwind trip to Arizona, I had to break out a skill I haven't used in a while?
No.
Yeah, fingertip driving.
Oh.
You know, when you get back in the car, when it's sitting in the parking lot, you don't grab the steering wheel. You fingertip drive.
Yes. Dude, I'll watch people driving with oven mitts on in Arizona.
Yeah, it's insane. I had forgotten all about it. I was using Darren's car for something. I was at the store. I came out and I'd been in there a couple hours. Pop out, get in the car, and I grabbed the steering wheel to go turn the key. It's like, whoa!
Yeah.
I had forgotten.
It's one of the reasons why in Arizona they got rid of the like older cars where you got the metal door handle, you got to push the button to open it.
Yes.
Yeah, I got rid of those in Arizona real quick. Yeah. So anyways, weather's getting better. It is that time of the year to start. This is when Arizona shines the most, is once our weather turns the way it's going to turn.
Mm.
All the people from Canada and colder climates, there's a term that we use for them called snowbirds, fly in and wreak havoc on everything. What's that?
I'm just thinking about being a snowbird.
And so we will start seeing that. But I think a lot of them have been watching the Weather Channel because they're like, I ain't going back.
Well, I have, because I'm now 61, I am morning, David.
Morning, David.
I am required by law to watch the Weather Channel 2 hours a day. That's mandatory.
Mandatory.
Once you hit 60, you get a notice in the mail that you're now obligated to watch Weather Channel. Absolutely.
Oh, well, I'm not quite there yet. So I can't wait to get that. When I turned 50, I got all my AARP notices.
Well, you know how often when we would go for our after show breakfast at Denny's, did my AARP account come in handy?
There you go. There you go.
But so here, just to let you know, here the weather has been really nice.
All of us are flipping you off right now.
It has been mid 70s during the day. It's down into about 65 at night. Not too bad. You can sit on your porch, put a little jacket on, have a nice time, and then off we go. So.
Yeah, I think today is supposed to be 100, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's like amazing what you can get excited. Oh, it's only going to be 100 today! Yay!
Hey, sometimes when you live in certain climates, you have to change your expectations. So, like, it's not hot until it's over 110. Then it's hot. But anything under 110, you're like, yay!
I rode motorcycle in Arizona, and I remember when Tim and I and John did our trek. We took John to Colorado, then Tim and I went across northern Arizona to the northern rim of the canyon, and then came back down. We were having a great time. And then we got to forget where it was. It wasn't, I think it was Flagstaff.
Okay.
And we were in really nice weather, and then we stopped and we got something to eat, and they went, okay, here we go. And from Flagstaff into Phoenix was the most miserable motorcycle ride I ever made in my life. Because the minute we got out of Flag, we got into the real Arizona heat, and it was like, and we stopped at a roadside rest, and Tim goes, we're both sitting there like, all right, it's hot. On a motorcycle over a certain speed and at a certain temperature, the wind doesn't get cooler, it gets hotter.
Yes.
And Tim goes, you want to take a break? Maybe wait for the sun. Nope, we're on it. Let's just get it done.
Let's just be man. Let's finish this.
It was horrible.
JP's mentioning the off-season convention season. Like the off-season convention season is coming up here, so that'll be cool. A lot of conventions, and again, cooler weather is where conventions will thrive.
Just wait till January. You might be mistaken. I actually like winter. Hence the Space Wolf thing. Yeah. I actually enjoy winter. Now, what I will complain about is it'll be bitter cold outside and there's no snow on the ground. If there's snow on the ground, I'm happy.
Well, you can justify snow on the ground for cold. Like we can relate snow, cold. Get it?
Yeah. For my mental health, what I do in the winter when there's snow, because we don't get as much snow as we used to, I will get that spray can snow. I'll spray it on my windowsills outside, and I'll do my entire front grass area.
There you go.
When I look out my windows, it looks like there's snow.
Why don't you just get a window clean and just like do a scene? You can put some trees and maybe put a bear behind a tree.
That's not a bad idea. I may have to do that.
And just do like a window clean on your thing.
I love snow. As a matter of fact, for the longest time, I wanted to retire to Alaska. That's where I really wanted to go when I was in these years. I have the right color beard for it. You know, if I live up in that
moose scare the hell out of me. I don't want to live in Alaska.
They are huge.
Yeah, that's an understatement of the century.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I grew up with Rocky and Bullwinkle. They just fascinate me.
Oh well. So I had an interesting. Good morning, Don. How are you, buddy? My wife and I we go to craft stores all the time, like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joanne. Oh wait, there's a con and ice storm and snow last time. And the reason to get outside. Yeah. We went over to Michael's.
Right.
Michael's is now selling miniatures. I think they're called Fantasy World. They're from Hobby Q is the name of the company that's selling them. And again, we'll get into all the details about this. I will have a moose for you later. All right. It's from a company called Hobby Q called Fantasy Worlds. These look just like Reaper miniatures or packaged like Reaper's miniatures. They're coming out of Texas, Lake Dallas, Texas. And I don't know exactly where Reaper's is located, but I think they're just Reaper miniatures repackaged under a different brand name. Reaper Miniatures is Hobby Q. I always relate Reaper Miniatures as Reaper Miniatures, but they're selling miniatures now, and I picked up some because they had the packs of rats, which you get 6 little rats in a package, which I can use for Warhammer Quest because I haven't been able to find good rats, and these are Reaper's miniature rats are phenomenal for Warhammer Quest. So I picked up a few. They're not cheap though. A pack is like $5, so it's not like the usual Reaper pricing that I guess I should rephrase that. I haven't bought Reaper miniatures in a while, so I don't know what they charge anymore. But we don't usually equate Reaper prices to be very high. But since they're selling them at Michael's, and Michael's offers coupons and all kinds of other things, they may have had to adjust the price just a little bit to compensate for some of their coupon products. But yeah, I thought that was fascinating.
Well, once again, though, you've proven something, a theory that I have been formulating for quite a while, that once again, as a miniature gamer, you will say a sentence that in normal English language would never be said, ever. It's hard to find good rats. Only a miniature gamer would say that.
Yeah, but it is hard to find good little rats.
In the context of finding miniature rats, or if you're discussing Skaven, it's just hard to find good rats.
Don's like $5 for a pack of rats in the economy sounds right to me. Yeah,
another set of words that would never be put together by anybody other than a gamer.
is what you see on the card statement when mail order and Michael's prices is a bit higher than Reaper's friendly game. So yeah, and that's
David makes a good point.
That's coming from.
From now on, if you do get a call for rats, usually are they good rats or are they bad rats?
Yes, I need to know good rats. So yeah, and it's just fascinating to me as our hobby is now kind of it's growing and we're seeing it go into different directions. They had a whole end cap full of these little packs of miniatures. And they had some big box ones too, and they were selling paint. Can use the rats in my can I use your rats in my game? Sure, you can use my rats in your game. I don't know what game you're talking about, but sure. But they had a little paint set, so it's obviously targeting the kids that go to Hobby Lobby, like the model, like a scale model section that they kind of have. Michael's model section isn't that great.
It used to be okay, but
it used to. It's not anymore. So obviously they're targeting that general group. So the wall was picked over. Like I'm not going to they had now either they didn't get as much product as they initially wanted to get. That's got it. Now I get it, David. Yes, I don't get those kind of calls at work. So it was thin. I'm going to use the term that you like to use. That it was thin. But either that and this was the Michaels and Surprise. Either it sold or they just didn't get as much product as they were hoping. Good morning, Raymond. So I was just kind of impressed. I was like, I saw these miniatures floating around on Facebook groups and things like that Michaels was selling them. I didn't expect to see them in my local Michaels. But they did, and I picked up a few packs of rats. And I was impressed. I was like, oh, this is cool. Plus, my wife had a 20% off coupon and $15 off her purchase. So, they were free in a roundabout way.
It's amazing. It's amazing how prolific miniature gaming and miniatures in general have become. I mean, quite frankly, there are tons of miniature companies out there now. They're all producing, it used to be you had to work really hard to produce good miniatures. Right now, the way things are, it's really hard you have to really work at producing bad miniatures.
Yeah, you have to really want to produce a bad miniature. But yeah, so if you happen to go to Michael's, swing on by. Oh, got a park.
You've got a pork shoulder in the smoker.
And
some models. One of the tells this show has that you and we should change our name to What's New with the Old Mike and Jeff. Because when you go to read the comments, you do this.
I don't have my glasses with me.
Wait a minute. When I go to read the comments, I do this. Because I have to go through my bifocals.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of old guys. So.
Well, David, I actually work for Surprise Animal Control, and I do that all the time. Knock, knock, surprise. Yes, it does work. I was actually trying to put it all together. I'm like, pork shoulders. What are we talking about? But then he was
telling us what's going on. He's got a pork.
Well, I just forgot Raymond's into the barbecue thing. He's barbecuing now. So nice. Also in Arizona, we have a new game store that opened up. Gamers Guild. If any of you are in West Valley, it's at 19th Avenue in Bell. I checked it out yesterday. It was just a lot of game table space. I don't like store wise, product wise. It's pretty. What's the kind of corporate? Like I don't know. It's like when you go to a corporate store, you kind of know what to expect. Like if I go to Michael's and Hobby Lobby, every once in a while I get surprised with something new, but for the most part, you know what's in the store. I'm not surprised when I go to Target very much. Like I kind of know what's at Target.
It's tick this off the box.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt when I was like, okay, big selection of standardized.
Very standardized, actually.
Yeah. Very like what I would expect in the miniature aisles, what I'd expect in the board game aisles. Very thin RPG section. The one in Central Phoenix was similar. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about Gamers Guild in Central Phoenix. I don't. There's, but yeah, but lots of table space for gaming. Nothing. Not there was some new. I guess I'm gonna have to just. There were some new experiences I have to adjust to in life. So first of all, 19th Avenue Bell, if you live in the area, 19th Avenue Bell is not the greatest part of town. It is not known to be a great place. We come rolling up and there's some lady out there dancing, just having a good old time. Like I pull into the parking lot.
Absolutely, David. I agree. No flavor, no soul.
Yeah, we'll pull into the parking lot and the dumpsters, the trash dumpsters, they're in like the parking lot space, have like cages built around them for some, like, so people don't go into the trash dumpsters. So that's like an indicator in my world. But we pull in and get past that. You go into the inside. It's a bright shiny penny. There's lots of clean stuff on the wall. Everything's clean. But I guess things have changed in this world. They have unisex bathrooms. Like you go down a hallway and there's doors and you just go use the bathroom. I don't know. I guess I'm old and I need to adjust to the new way things are done. But to me, that just was like weird. It was just a new experience, I guess, is the best way for me to say that. I don't know how else to say. It was just different. But
Change.
It's just change, and I know I'm old and I know I'm set in my ways, but you don't use the restroom. But I guess where else you gonna go over there though? Like you have no choice if you're over there.
Most humans fear change, myself included.
Yeah. Well, and I have to get used to it because the Surprise Police Department's building their new substation, and the locker rooms are going to be co-ed locker rooms or unisex locker rooms. Which is just how the world is moving, I guess. We're kind of going through this as a transition. I don't know if it's better, cheaper. I don't know the logic other than it's just easier to do unisex bathrooms than anything else. And don't get me wrong, Darren's restrooms are unisex restrooms. But they're like a single restroom. You don't go down a hallway full of toilets. I don't know. It was just weird. It was just an eye-opening experience. But the other thing that really didn't settle well with me is there was no price tags on anything. And you and I kind of talked a little bit about this.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Let me read JP. Interesting. We had a store just decide to not renew their lease, but now they have a kiosk area in the mall. Kiosk area. That's interesting. Big store, but they're trying to use it as an event space. Oh, kids' birthday, trying to use event space for kids' birthday. LAN parties. LAN parties are still a thing. A club would support them, but they wanted to keep their Saturdays for parties, and sometimes didn't work out. Okay. IO World Gaming are both clean, organized, and feel lived in. Yeah, they do feel lived in.
That's a good thing.
In a good way. So but there's no price tags on anything. And so I was looking at product and I was like, how much is it? Like nothing. So is that, and I don't run a retail store. I'm just an old guy and I'm just used to things being done a certain way. But is this a new thing in like marketing, or is this just laziness? Is this just I want to be able to adjust my prices on the fly and not have to reprice anything? No, JP, I don't think that's how the law's written. We can try that. You fly on down and go try that.
It's a personal preference that I've encountered in my years of dealing with retail stores that ownership makes that decision. Some people don't care. They'll slap a big red sticker right on the front. I mean, not a special kind of cool card, but just a blank red price sticker across the front, which looks hideous. Yeah. Darren does his barcodes on the back, which I agree with. It puts them behind it where you can't really see it. But when you pull it off the shelf, which is the ultimate goal of any retailer, you pull that product off the shelf, flip it over. There's your price clearly stated. Some retailers just don't, and the reasons I've encountered over the years as to why is varied. I personally think it's just lazy, because to me it gives the impression, well, if you have to ask, you can't afford it,
Right.
and that's just silly. And most people aren't confrontational in nature. And they have a little bit of a when they go to the counter and the guy says, "Well, that's $220." You are putting them in a situation where they've got to be confrontational, or they've got to basically say no, which they will fear it makes them think they can't afford something. So there's a whole psychological thing to that
Right.
process that has been studied, but I find it to be just put price stickers on it.
Yeah, well, and David's got it. Mass marketing setup. It creates an opportunity to engage, but ultimately it's lazy.
I agree.
And like I've been in the gaming world for a couple years. I'm just going to go a couple years, not that long. Most gamers are introverts. Like we're not openly social people. We're not the types to go seeking out. Well, some of us are. I'm a loudmouth, but a lot of gamers are very introverts. Even when I was working at IOG, hi, how you doing? How can I help you? Oh, I'm just looking. And you can see them kind of retreat back, and they're just not engaged. And that's my cue to go, oh, leave that person alone, and they'll come to me and ask me when they're ready to check out or ask a question. But not put the price on. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's a big store. It's like the Walmart superstore of gaming. I'm not going to go walking up to the counter with a product, ask how much it is, just in general. Like, if you can't tell me what the price is on the product when I'm looking at it on the shelf so I can make an informed decision without engaging with people, I'm probably going to walk away.
And now, I miss running a store too, but that's what I started doing back in the 80s. Start running a store. So.
Luke's store, like Luke doesn't put prices on, but Luke's store's small. Like I can just literally turn around, Luke, how much is this? And he can just tell me right off, like right there, because his store's small in that sense. But when it's where you literally have to go up and walk and go find somebody, what's MOX stores?
That I don't know.
David, explain MOX. I'm sorry, I'm not that cool. Oh, wait, no, it's not mom and pop stores.
I have no idea.
Yeah, David, help us with that. Anyways, that was my experience.
Well, yeah, the thing that a lot of
Luke's Old World Gaming, Don. That's his store. He actually is
over in Scottsdale or Mesa, Scottsdale.
No, it's Scottsdale. It's North Scottsdale. Frank Lloyd Wright or something like that.
Right in that ballpark.
Yeah. Where it's Scottsdale, North Scottsdale. Just look up Old World Gaming on Facebook, man. Luke's store is really nice. I like Luke's store. It's right across the street from the Scottsdale.
Don, as long as you've lived in Arizona, if you have to have us tell you where Scottsdale's at, you might want to see a doctor. Love you, buddy. I do. I love you, buddy. I'm just picking on you.
Yeah. So that was my experience there. It's a big store. It's a neat store. But there's something. To me, it's just a corporate store. Like it's like going to Gamers Goat. I don't know if you've ever heard of Gamers Goat.
I thought I was the Gamers Goat.
That's
not true. I have no paper to back that up at all.
I know.
No, I've never heard of Gamers Goat.
It was a chain game stores. They were like a chain. They were all over the place, and it's like, very much what you expect. And it's like going to Walmart or going to Target. It's like kind of not personal. It's like when I go to IOG, it's like, cheers. Like, hey, here's like when I go to Luke's store, Luke literally knows my name. Literally. He's like, Mike, hi. Like, it's just, there's something about that level of customer service that I want in my gaming stores.
Well, yeah, the thing about a corporate store, and the hobby industry went through this for quite a while, where they basically hobby towns a bit like that. The difference is they allow the owners enough leeway to make it feel like a locally owned hobby shop, even though they're a national franchise. And it really boils down to the owner, and not pricing stuff is not really an issue, but it just reflects. There's a couple of things I look at when I go into a shop that let me know how well the shop's managed. Do they price their product, where you can easily see? You don't have to price books because they're printed on the back of the book.
Right.
But price your box games and stuff like that. The other one is how well their paint rack is stocked, because it just lets you know whether or not the owner really has any ambition whatsoever. Because if you can't keep your paint stocked, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's just a lot of the different stuff. I prefer. I've even actually said, because right now Dungeons and Dragons and role playing has exploded. I mean, it is all over the place, and I think it's great. I really honestly do. But I also miss when it was, you kind of, I play D&D, and it had that little bit of an aspect, because you're like, I'm doing something that most people don't.
Right.
And the other reason it scares me a bit that it is so mainstream, because everything that goes up eventually will level off and then come back down.
Yeah.
And
it'll be interesting to see how things pan out for them. It's a big footprint, and we understand retail space. It's not cheap, so they could have gotten a great deal on the rent because it was a vacant building for some time.
Yeah.
So maybe they got a great deal on the rent, but something about a game store. I just still, even Don's talking about, like, Jonathan works for GW, which their stores are kind of unique in the sense that they don't carry everything GW carries. Obviously, they carry very limited stuff. But even Jonathan still is a very personable person. He is the identity of the store, just like IOG's identity is Darren. And Darren hires, we start identifying with certain, employees because they've been there so long. But when you start running that corporate store, turnover is a thing. And for a big store like that, I would expect to see investment in other game lines that you don't normally see. And when you just go in, it's like everything I can buy in the store, I can buy on Amazon.
And for me, in my humble or not so humble opinion, is the thing that the one ingredient that I think a good game / hobby shop needs is a community builder.
Yep.
I mean, even Andy's.
Yep.
Andy's has exploded, but when you walk in there, you still feel like you're in that neighborhood hobby shop.
And Andy's there.
I mean, but he's blown up. He's exploded. Darren, same thing. Darren, when you walk in IOG, you feel like you've walked into your second home.
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk staff, we can talk all these different things about any game shop, because staff are always a variable. And whether or not the manufacturer ships stuff to you or not, there's always all these variables. But when you walk in, you feel like you're among people like you.
I call it the Cheers effect.
Absolutely.
Like, when you walk in, you're like, I feel comfortable here with the people that I'm with, because I've gamed with them, I've known them, and we've hung out, or I've dealt with the same person behind the counter every time I go to this store. It's the same person, and the person knows me and has recognized me before. But when you start getting into that corporate level or that turnover level, you're just like, I'm just a number.
And no one looks at you funny when you say, "Hey, these are really good rats."
When I say it, I kind of get some pushback. But JP's got it. I found my people.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sorry. Metagames was the name. Okay, very big box. Got it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you are correct, David. Absolutely correct.
Yeah,
I just need a community. I literally, when I went out to Arizona and started working for Hobby Bench, where I met Darren. Darren was actually the first person I met in the shop that we became fast friends. But I went from Paradise Valley Mall Hobby Bench to 19th and Northern Hobby Bench. Went from there to Hobby Bench out on 43rd and Bell. As a matter of fact, I built that store. I put that store together. I then went to Hobby Town USA at Bell, and
they were I-17. Yeah,
the Bell and Black Canyon. But the thing about it was, there were a group of people that I met at each different store, and every place I went, I brought in miniature gaming, and they kind of followed me around until I went to Waterloo North at 28th and Cactus, and ran that shop. And community building, in my opinion, to have a long-term successful game shop, you need to have that community building.
Right.
Because gaming is all about community. You know, it's not like a video game, which by the way, I love Space Marine 2. Don't get me wrong, loving it.
All right.
Not good at it, but loving it.
Doesn't matter if you're good at it.
Doesn't matter if you're good at it. But community is what makes a hobby shop, the same thing. You can walk in, and whether it's RC cards or plastic models or trains, you walk in, and as JP said, you find your people.
Yep.
And that's the important ingredient. And corporate stores don't get that.
Right.
They try to emulate it. They try to fake it, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Everyone knows when you're faking it. That's why Andy over at Andy's Hobby headquarters is building he's going to have like a nice build area where people can model car club, like car clubs, like model clubs can start going to his superstore and build that community. And then he can also teach classes and like all that kind of stuff. Cause he recognizes the same thing. It's like, it's one thing to sell a product. It's another thing to have a community behind that product. And what gaming is community driven, because unless you're me, most people play with other people. It's just a weird thing.
Funny that.
Yeah. But I do like, and one of the things I appreciate about smaller stores is every time I go to IOG, I don't know what's going to be on the shelves. Like, I understand certain products are evergreen products that are always going to be on the shelf. It's always a struggle to balance sell space, gaming space, and community space. Yes, it is. That is a delicate balance. There are certain things, though, I expect to see D&D and Pathfinder and Catan and this, that, and like there's certain things you expect to see, but the new release shelf, every once Darren just brings in random stuff, and it's not something he's going to carry long term, because that could be manufacturing, like do Kickstarter things and things of that nature. So it may be a one and done, but you kind of don't know what to expect.
And the other thing is that a lot of people don't realize that when you walk into that shop and you see that new item, that new game, whatever it happens to be, there's a level of risk that a store takes, that a store assumes when they bring that in. Because if it takes off, fantastic, success, great. If it doesn't, then you eat that cost and you move on. But it's something that corporate stores, they want that easy sell. They want that. I mean, that's one of the things. The other thing that impressed me, when you tell me a shop like IOG, and there's several others that I've come across that don't sell Magic or don't do Friday Night Magic and all the other stuff that your Magic stores do, that impresses me, because that tells me that they have managed to build a broad, diverse gaming community that plays everything.
Right.
And that's important. And my personal opinion is, and I hope we never get to the point that it's not.
Right.
Because that would make me sad.
Well, that's why I like
that. Sad Jeffy.
We don't know. Well, that's why, like, you walk in Darren's shop, if you're into RPGs, you got a broad selection of RPGs. If you're into our games, you got a really broad selection of board games. And Darren's always bringing in new things and trying new things. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm not like, it's just my observations. I'm an outsider. Like I said, I'm old. I'm set in my ways. I'm not afraid to admit that. Change is not something I jump towards. I do like being out of my comfort zone, and it put me outside my comfort zone.
This is my surprise face.
How I feel about my comfort zone, like going through that, put me outside my comfort zone. There was this like interesting things. There's a restaurant attached, which is like, all right, that's cool. Like that's a nice, like, okay, this is different. We're trying something.
Gaming cafes are gaining popularity. There's a lot of them out there, and if run properly. But quite frankly, I don't think my brain could handle running food service and gaming.
Well, I would have to assume it's two different companies, maybe.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
They also allow drinking in the store.
I've experienced that on a convention level, and let me tell you, it can be fun, and it can be fun in a sarcastic, oh my God, this is horrible kind of way.
Yeah. Corporate stores are the ones that have the investment capital startup for. Most of the friendly game stores are legacy stores, which is true. The ones that weren't focused on culture or focused on culture building. Yeah. And that's where IOG is at.
Right.
Game Depot used to be one of the other stores, but they
Yeah,
closed
absolutely.
down. But I had a
Waterloo
huge,
Games in the day was like that.
yeah.
And you want to talk about a store of personality? Go to Waterloo Games when it was in Gilbert. Woo!
Oh, I used to.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
like the drive across town. We go to Waterloo Games, and I haven't seen first edition Warhammer stuff sitting on the shelf in a long time, and it's still there.
The only store I recommend you bring cash and something to dust the product off because there's a lot there. It's covered with dust.
And be ready for a lot of secondhand smoke.
Oh god, yeah.
Because then he like Arizona, like most states, changed the law where you can't smoke in businesses. But he changed his business model. He became a club.
Yeah.
And that was like an exception to the rule back then. I think that exception has been removed from the Arizona law
because of the owner of Waterloo Games.
Yeah, the Silver Key Lounge is a weird mix that somehow is working.
Yeah.
Well, but it's in their name though. Silver Key Lounge tells me right off the bat, I'm going to a bar. I'm going to a adult place where I understand people are going to drink, and there's probably going to be an age limit. Like, I'm not going to see little Timmy, and I don't know if they do this or not. I don't know if they allow little kids because it is a lounge.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I understand Silver Key Lounge. Silver Dragon allows drinking as well, and that is like
and if it works, and I still get the community feel there and everything else, I think that's great. But the pure 100% corporate stores are, I don't know how survivable they are long term.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't think Gamers Guild is a corporate store. It just has that vibe of being a corporate.
Well, that's kind of what I meant. The stores that kind of operate on that quick, give me a checklist of what I can carry this easy. That's an easy sell. Yeah. And then I can throw a bunch of tables out there, and I got cheap rent. And here's the thing, though, even cheap rent goes up every year.
Yeah.
So
everything goes up. Yeah, it is a weird mix, allowing serving alcohol to people while they're playing games. And
my only experience to it was when we ran
I know exactly. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The Flames of War event.
Yeah.
That we ran at Historicon. We had 105 or 106 tables, and we allowed alcohol, and it was an experience. That's all I can say. It was an experience. So now, that being said, they were historical gamers, which I don't know if that makes a difference or not. But
God, man, I just know I personally don't drink. It is a personal choice that I make. Oh boy, Columbus, Ohio has a place called the Forge. It's a game pub tavern thing. Not sure that I want to take my fragile models and try to teach sail power to them. Yeah, so I don't drink. It's a personal choice. And unfortunately, when you stop drinking and you start hanging out with people that are drinking, you start seeing a different side of those people, and you're just like, yeah, no thanks.
Well, yeah. Well, you know my drinking story. So
yeah. Well, yeah, I scolded you a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's personal choice. Whatever works for the business, let them try it. Some people probably embrace that. I don't think mom's going to take little Johnny there to play Pokemon if people are in there drinking. That's just maybe the alcohol needs to stay in the restaurant side. Like, you can go in there, sit down, drink, sit at the bar, do whatever, but the store should probably have that.
Well, I think what it always boils down to is especially in where we go, any model will work if you've got the proper owner doing the proper thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got I mean, I wish them well. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to poo-poo on them because they serve alcohol. I know my experience was not great, but if you've got an owner there that understands the community he's trying to build, and he's successfully builds that community, then he's successful.
Yeah.
And that's great. I have zero problem with that. But when you have a store that just blatantly goes, give me the list of what's going to sell quick for the least amount of work, and then I'm going to focus on this,
right,
which is, in my opinion, I'm going to focus on just having a lot of gaming tables for people to come in and use. Whether he charges for space or doesn't charge for space is all irrelevant. What's going to support him down the road is going to be that community feel. Now, he may capture a certain aspect of a certain group of the hobby that go there, but then that becomes a game club that is exclusive and not very inclusive. Which means when new people go in, they're going to be turned off.
Yeah.
They're going to be scared away. And that's what you don't want.
Yeah.
Butts and seats, absolutely, David.
Yeah.
But because I've been in so many shops that were in the owner's mind and financially successful, but when a new player walked in, whatever game it was, if it had a club mentality, meaning we're us and you're you and you can't get involved in this, then
Victor's in the house.
Victor's in the house. Then that's that to me. That's a negative because you're not. Eventually, people start looking like me and get old and they die, and you haven't generated any new business.
Yeah,
and so it's just not it's not where I want to be.
Well, at the end of the day, the market will pan out everything.
Absolutely.
To me, it's still location is still key, and I just question that location. But I'm not the business owner.
That's why that location applies to this show. You're in Arizona, and I'm here where the weather's better.
And moving this conversation on, let's talk about some photos because somebody's bragging about.
I didn't do photos
because in a couple months, when you're stuck inside your house because it's cold outside and you're a delicate little flower and you're afraid you're going to wilt in the cold, we'll be in our 70-degree temperature and we'll be going, yeah.
But I guarantee one thing, every tree outside in that snow-covered forest will have yellow snow around it. I've marked it as mine.
When running War Boss, it was always a fight to balance creating
catering.
You grumpy old gamer. Well, first of all, War Boss, David, did you run War Boss? And are you like? I remember War Boss as a store. Is that that was like a big store back in the day? Because if I'm not mistaken, they were going to expand. They were East Valley. They were, I did for 2 years. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Didn't they go out because they took on business partners and something went sideways? Like they got a bigger storefront, like they were trying to expand. And if that's the rumor, if I remember correctly, that something terrible happened with their investors. Anyways, sorry. I just haven't heard that name in a long time. We did expand and that's where it all fell apart. Yeah.
They created a Hydra.
Yeah, and Hydras are bad. I didn't get all my pictures taken yesterday. Sorry. We'll catch up next week. Okay. Well, since Joe brought up pictures, let's talk about pictures.
I don't want to do pictures.
Okay.
I didn't put any pictures from anyone with a name beginning with J.
There were quite a few of them.
Well, let me get there.
Pressing buttons is not our strong suit, by the way.
My phone has gone insane today.
Uh-oh. Are you popular?
I have my camera right in front of me.
I was like, what do we do?
I have to do this to see around the camera.
I thought you were listening to some Guns N' Roses and you were trying to do the
I should wear my AirPods more often.
Yeah. What are chains? Somebody's
those are some spell effects that David put up on the Discord.
I immediately start hearing Fleetwood Mac. Those are awesome. Those are spell effects, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, very cool. Forget what they called them, like endless spells or something like that.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, and they're cool.
Yeah,
they're very cool. So
the only one
I like the metal. I like the metallic on these. They look really good.
Yeah, not too bright. Yeah. The only endless spell I never really cared for was the purple sun thing.
That was weird.
Yeah. Endless spells.
For Age of Sigma.
Very cool.
And now we're into Joe's slew of stuff.
So I believe Joe is doing Warzone, which is the new game from Free League, which is a miniatures version of their Mutant Year Zero, Mutant Chronicles, or whatever they call it, game system. So very cool. There's all kinds of stuff. I must be old. I'm having difficulties getting pics on to Discord. Um, yeah, I don't know what the you have to import the photo first, I believe. Like you have to go to your photos and select photos and import them, and then you can upload them. But I
No,
don't know.
I just go to comments, hit the plus symbol in the comment, and it'll
Yeah,
take you to where you can share your file. And you clicked on. You only do 10 at a time,
yeah,
and then type in your comment if you want to, and then hit enter. And I posted a bunch last night.
yeah. I guess it would just depend on what kind of phone you have. Maybe that could have something and make it difficult. I don't know.
Well, I am old. I didn't use my phone. I used my PC.
Yeah. Well, when you're doing it, well, I don't know. Play around with it, David. I'm sorry, I don't have any. I don't have the answers to that one. But
Yeah,
Joe
I
has
mean,
gone crazy with the world. I'm assuming, Joe, that you're soon going to be doing demos of this game in some way, shape, or form. Look at that helmet. I love it.
yeah.
There. That actually is a cool photo. Or
Yeah, when you go on our Discord, just pick whatever you want to put on, like sci-fi gaming, uh, uh, whatever it happens to be, and then at the bottom you'll see where you can actually make a comment. There's a plus symbol, and that lets you upload a file.
yeah,
So
there's a lot of contrast paint.
yeah, all of mine are going to be all mine are going to be slap
Yeah.
chop.
Slap chop contrast. We have the Mike and Jeff version of slap chop, which is something else, but going in and doing edge highlighting and stuff.
I call it female wolf slap.
There you go.
Or
and JP's
or B word slap.
Yeah, 10 photos per post. So
Yep.
Joe, I am gonna you need to finish the bases or do something with the bases. Like I understand you're cranking out a bunch of models. I don't know if you're going to do the bases. I haven't played Warzone, so I don't know anything about the rule mechanics. There's
Moose.
Moose. He's got small antlers. Copy all. Try again. Trying again. There you go. Moose. There's the moose. Oh, what is that? A rhino or boar?
A boar.
Yeah. Very cool.
Funny.
Duck. So Free League is a Swedish game company, and they put out Dragonbane, and they put ducks in Dragonbane as well. I don't know if the Swedish gaming scene seems to like the duck thing. They do like their ducks. I'm taking more. Whole of Discord. Oh, and this sir, we post a lot of pics here, and those take space. Space is not free. Okay.
JP is quoting Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Got it.
I haven't had any issues where anybody said, yeah, we're taking up X number of space.
Yeah. Well,
we may want to go through and clean some out maybe eventually, but we haven't got any notices, have we?
I haven't gotten any notices from Discord.
Yeah.
But digital space is space, and it does take up, especially on your cell phone. So, but maybe that could be part of the problem is because you're going in, it's got so many photos that it's hard to load it, and it's taking up that kind of space.
But Joe has definitely been busy.
Yeah.
That looks like I can't even name of the game now.
Robo Rally.
Took me a second.
Robo Rally is making a comeback.
They just had a new edition at the shop that I really want to get a hold of.
Yeah. Yeah, Don. I don't get it. Like, I haven't had any issues with Discord on my end as far as the phone goes, but I do have issues with my wife taking too many photos and clogging up my memory on my phone because we have shared servers or shared phone.
Yeah. We haven't got any notices yet.
Yeah, that robot had a little towel.
Oh, look, I like that model. Didn't I show that model twice?
No,
look, I like that model so much I put it in twice.
There you go. Did they change any of the rule? Oh, you moved on to JP. Did they change any of the rules to Robo Rally? I guess the question.
Yes, they made some subtle changes, and it's a little different.
But nothing. It's still bounced the other person.
Nothing major from what I was able to gather. But I plan on picking a copy up.
All right. Neat game. I've always loved Robo Rally. It's always been.
It's a fantastic game.
Yes, they did. It's a little more streamlined.
Yeah, a little more streamlined. And this is from JP.
Yep.
Very cool.
Like a rock troll.
It's like a Bob Seger song.
Rock drum. Ah, Mark.
And then Mark has put up a bunch of pics from his new project.
Look at that. Very sparkly. Nice rims. Look at those seats. I did want to. Mark's not with us, unfortunately. I wanted to ask him about the interior of his vehicle. When you get to that photo, I'll point it out. Not this particular. Look at the dashboard. Oh my god! Holy crap! And look at the stick shift. How he glossed up the cover that makes it almost look really photo.
Talking about the boot.
Yeah, the boot.
Yeah,
looks plasticky. Look at that. The back of that, he has a material down. I wonder if he's using the powder, if he's got something special to make it look like carpet when you get to
I think he covers that. I don't know if he did it in comments.
No, he didn't do any comments on it. That one, it's not. It's vacant right there. It's clear right there. But when you get to another photo, it really pops out. I just
his model building is top notch.
Oh yeah, or you can see it there. See the back. Yeah. See how it's got that texture to it, like a carpet texture.
Yep.
When I built a few model cars, there's a embossing powder that I use that you sprinkle on, and it makes it look like carpet, and it's something widely used in the scale modeling world. I kind of wonder if he's doing that, or if there is actually, knowing Mark because he's so much into scale modeling, I wonder if there's an actual product he's using.
I actually believe there is.
Okay.
Yeah, because there he shows it.
Black flock. Well, I don't think it's flock. I think it's a little bit more coarse than flock. And it's a lot thinner. He's doing it here, whatever he's doing.
Yeah, that's where he mastered out. I'm sure if did you see his response to our
Yeah. He posted.
He usually watches the show. If he's not here live, he'll watch it later.
Yeah, and he'll say something.
It's beautiful work. Absolutely beautiful work. And then Tim posted these up.
Yeah, old school trolls. We played Warhammer Quest yesterday.
Oh, cool.
We didn't get far. Warhammer Quest kills us so quickly. I don't know why we love that game so much.
It's a great game.
It is a great game, but like the survivability rate is so low.
We had a long run. Tim, I think Don played in it, where we played Warhammer Quest like one night a week for a while. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there is something about, and then he did his Chaos
Dwarf.
Since, the new Blood Bowl Chaos Dwarfs are out. Did you get yours yet?
They're going to be shipped to me next week.
All right. These are the old school ones. Old schooler.
Yeah, these are really old school.
Yeah, but they're awesome.
They're gorgeous. Chaos
Hey, David said he got photos uploaded. It worked.
Well, they'll be in next week's show, buddy.
Yeah, I do like the Russian vibe of the Chaos Dwarfs.
Yeah, that whole Slavic feel, blunderbusses.
The hat.
And I always like Rick Priestley's rule that they wouldn't let him put it in the rules.
What's that?
Is that when they took off these gigantic hats, another Chaos Dwarf hit them. So that's how they always fooled their enemies into.
Love it.
Yeah. So back in the big hat days.
Yeah. And then this is I believe this is just a regular dwarf.
Yes.
I think it's the white dwarf, the actual white dwarf model.
Might be one from a while back.
Yeah, one of the older ones.
The old square slaughter base.
Yeah, slaughter base.
Yeah. So, and then we come to a project I've been working on.
Look at this.
I have a problem with. It's not a problem with the.
Wait! I'm going to stop the conversation. You have a problem? I think you have more than a.
I have many. Okay? But none of them I'm willing to address today. But eventually, in a future show, if you watch, I probably will. This is it's not a problem with the paint range, the speed paint range.
Okay.
The problem I have is because in their normal state, they're very dark.
Yes.
And I have trouble visualizing what color they're going to be on the model.
You're right.
So what I've started doing is I am basically painting the tops of all the speed paint bottles and I'm brushing it on, so that's why it looks so sloppy. I'm just going to brush it on but it gives me an idea what they look like. And you'll notice back here is a row of speed paints.
Yeah.
If you start here and work your way down the line, that's how I know what caps go where.
JP, have a great day. Take care.
Hey,
have to the V8. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Take care.
So, but yeah, that's one of the projects I've been working on, and the reason is I've been using a lot of speed paints the last few days.
And I think we talked about that last week. I'm like, I did the same thing. I just didn't. I didn't get as creative as you. I just took the whole bottle outside and sprayed the top of the bottle and just slapped the paint on.
Nope, I pulled them all off and I masked the bottom. Yeah. That way, me taking the cap on and off doesn't wear on the paint.
Yeah, you're just.
Anal.
But you do see the differences on how those paints go on. I can see it from here, just looking at.
Yeah, that also lets me know how the paint's going to react and how it's going to flow onto the model, especially smooth surfaces.
Right, and that's
some of them look really smooth, really good. Like for example, here and here, but then others are a little splotchy.
I don't know what that one is in the middle, right in front of the yellow, but it's really bad.
It is really bad. But that's what I didn't want to airbrush them. I just wanted here's what it's going to look like when I brush it on, so I know what I'm getting into when I start. Plus, I can judge the color.
Now, David went one step further. David actually 3D printed a bunch of orc heads and glued them on top of the bottle tops.
I didn't want to go that far.
But you get like with just doing the bottle top, you see how it handles the edges or the rim of the very tip of the bottle, so you can kind of tell how it's going to highlight. Like you just get more information about how the paint's going to behave.
Nope. Yeah, it absolutely does. So that's one project I've been working on.
I love it. It's a good project. It's going to take you a while.
I'm about halfway through.
Yeah.
So, and then there's again, I put them in order so that when I pull them off after I've painted them, I know exactly the order they go in, so I can make sure I get the right cap on the right bottle.
And it is a little misleading when you are you using a silicone dropper thing?
No.
Okay.
No, when you I'm using a wet palette.
All right, when you drop them on, when you first drop them out, the color does look dark.
It does.
But it behaves so much differently on the model.
Yeah, no, and I gotta say, I'm liking the paint itself. I just these little things here. A, I can't see them clearly on the rack they're on.
Right.
And B, that it doesn't. I just want to see what it looks like on the model.
Yeah.
And that cap gives me a real quick idea. It doesn't mean I'm not going to use it. I just got to know that I've got to take that into consideration when I am using it.
And David mentions the labels are quite misleading. Yeah, a little bit.
And any paint line has that issue.
But it's taking them, putting it on the bottle top like you are, and you can just look at your rack, your new racks, and go, I need red. Here are all of my reds, and I want this one because maybe you're doing it as like a base color, so you want better coverage, or you're going to thin it down and make it more of a washy type paint. So yeah,
and you'll notice these are not in any kind of order. These are the ones I was currently using to do what I've been working on.
Right.
So when I finish, I do the caps, and then I put them back, and then I bring out the next batch of stuff I gotta put use contrast on, and I'll do those as well. So that's why they're kind of all over the place.
And when you balance price versus quality of the paint, I think the speed paints are like right there.
I am not in any way, shape, or form disappointed in any of their uses. They've all come out really nice, and I have a ton of models that I've been using them on. I've shown some on my Facebook page. I've some on others. I've just loaded them up to Discord last night. This is my next project.
What is this? Because I've been seeing it on Facebook, and like you're like,
this is my Marvel United Galactus.
But like, is it super big? Or
it's about 10 inches tall.
Oh, okay. So now it makes more sense because I thought it was just like a regular 28 millimeter.
I should have put his heralds around him. To give you an idea about scale, but he's about 10 inches tall.
Okay.
I was gifted this set, and I'm really happy I have it.
Why is he pink?
Because the color of the plastic in most cases of Marvel United, if you don't paint the models, there's a certain color that indicates hero, there's a color that indicates villain, and there's a color that indicates both ways. They can be, you can play them as a hero or a villain. that color is the hero or villain color.
All right.
It was just a choice they made. He cannot be played as a hero because he is in no way, shape, or form a hero. He is Galactus.
Okay.
But I'm so excited to start this guy. I just got to get some stuff cleared off my project table.
David mentions the new Monument Hobby spray primers.
I have.
And I got one right here. I got one from Luke. It's the matte gray primer.
Yep.
Did IOG get these yet? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay. I haven't tried it. I haven't tried them yet. But when I was talking to Luke, again, this is why I really enjoy talking to shop owners. Just so remember Dull Coat from Testers? Remember how good it used to be the Dull Coat of choice for miniatures, like everybody used to use it, but something changed with Testers and it just wasn't as good anymore. They stopped manufacturing it. This is from Army Forge, and Army Forge is a UK company, and they reverse engineered the Dull Coat, and their new matte varnish is supposed to act and behave just like the old Dull Coat from Testers.
Right. That's from Monument.
Yeah, this is from Monument, but I wanted to try it just because it's a new product out there. Hunger.
Yeah, that's one of the things Galactus says.
Okay. So, anyways, but David mentioned
you let me know what you think because I will not be trying it.
Yeah, I just want to try it. I can't find a good matte black. That's my problem, other than airbrushing. So I'm always Color Forge. Sorry, Army Forge, Color Forge. It's all a Forge, David. Anyways, moving on. Sorry to distract.
Not a problem.
So this is 10 inches. Okay.
This is my a test model for an Astral Templars project for Age of Sigmar I'm working on.
Astral. What is exactly?
It's just a faction of the I always forget their name. The Age of Sigmar Marine types.
Sigmar.
I don't play Sigmar, so I always forget. But when they redid for Staventide, they brought a whole bunch of they canceled a whole bunch of these guys. Stormcast Eternals. There it comes.
Stormcast. There you go.
Yeah. Stormcast Eternals. This is the faction known as the Astral Templars.
All right, but are you playing Age of Sigmar?
This is a commission project I have, and this is the test model for it.
Gotcha.
And it's also the one where I realized I didn't have to. If I do ever play, Stormcast Eternals, I don't have to make them all gold or silver.
No, you can do other colors.
Yep, and that I really like that color. It's not my choice. It's the guy that owns them's choice. But I really like it.
It's like is it burgundy or is it just like a?
It is there's a contrast paint I used as the base.
Okay.
To put the dark in, and then it is let me see if I can find it here on my shelf.
It's a reddish. It's almost like a reddish purplish kind of color.
Screamer pink.
Okay. Screamer pink. Interesting.
Screamer pink.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's a good color. I like it.
Victor's saying he likes the chibi Galactus.
Yes.
Or the zombie side. He played with Alan.
Yeah, and that thing's huge. That thing's even bigger than the one I have.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. It's like I think I've seen it for like $900 online. It's insane. And then I started. These are all slot top. These are all speed paints or contrast paints, depending.
Yours kind of look like mine.
Well, they're undead ogres.
Yeah, kind of hard to get original.
Yeah.
But this is all dungeon side. And I like how you're keeping. Did the client want the bases just black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wanted basic play.
They're almost and it's just for a board game situation. It just works.
They're just meeples.
Yeah, they're just colorful meeples. I love that, dude.
Yes.
Love it. Look at the. Oh, you went red. I went with mine. I did very well. You saw them there. I did the green, kind of like Lord of the Rings, the Army of the Dead, Undead.
I wanted something to contrast them between the actual arms and the rest of them.
Yeah.
I wanted to have that. I wanted that massive contrast between that.
Well, it works. The Hell Dogs.
More corgis.
Yeah, I love them. Love them. And they're a pain to fight in the game.
These are the extras from the Michael Jackson video. They're just waiting to go on to do their part in Thriller.
Love it. Yeah, you're cranking, man.
I think Amos called them a zombie chorus line.
They kind of. Yeah.
I'm managing to do about 3 an hour.
Damn.
Is what I'm averaging on these models. I'll get about 3 done every hour.
You're doing a hell of a lot better than me.
So
yeah, look at that.
And basically what I do is I pull out all the models that I have a similar color scheme to, and then I just assembly line them. So any model that is in the group that had this color blue on, like here on the pants, if there's other models that use that color, they're in and I would just go through and do them all. So I do a dozen at a time, and I'm averaging about 3 an hour.
And one of the things is you got the big box set from
the Dungeon Origins.
Yeah, there's actually extra models in that box.
Yeah, it's like over 100 models.
Yeah, so but you get a lot of duplicates, so it does make the life a little bit easier when you have a lot.
You get like 3 of each troop type, and then a boss, and then there's big bosses. So.
Yeah, but like the skeletons, you have the archers, the guys with the shield. Like you have some different arm types, but you have 3 of each. Joe is IO doing NS Infinity demos today. Joe is IO doing NS N5. Oh, and hey, sorry, Infinity demos today. What is N5 anyways? Is that the new?
I have no idea.
All right. And is IO going to get? Oh, there's the other skeleton dudes with shields. Is IO going to get into the new version of Infinity, the fantasy version?
I would imagine Darren's going.
New rules edition. Okay. Look at those guys.
We are the Knights of St. Knee. That's the first thing I thought when I saw these guys.
Love them. Dude, and you're just getting them done.
Yeah, I'm cranking through. I've got another, I'll finish another 12 today, and then that'll wipe out all the regular troops. Then I've just got to do the heroes.
All right. And I got to get that dice tray sent over to you. There's the goblins. I still am struggling to find orcs and goblins with bows from like a Reaper line that is going to work with my Warhammer quest. David, yes, and feel free to message me directly. Okay, these are the bombers.
They're comparing bombs right now.
Yeah, mine's bigger than yours. My bomb. Look at that. Look at that. Got the Kickstarter from Warcrow. Okay. So he's not going to do Warcrow. Look at that. Big old sword. I like how you did your metal on the sword. Like you obviously just went right with 2 different shades and it just worked.
Yeah, just real quick. I have noticed the speed paint metallics are best when it's a lot of white. With a slap chop, you dry brush them. I have gone back over some of those to get that brightness out. Using just pure white and not so much shadows.
I like how David just responded. And first photo dump complete. That mean we were expecting more?
I'll be busy this week. I can see that.
Look at those guys. Those are the I forget what they're called, but they're just,
I have no idea what they're called. I just found a picture to give me some guidance. So.
Yeah, I love your flame effect. All speed paint on the flame, huh?
Yeah. Well, I did speed paints, and then I did go back on the flame pillar that's coming up behind it and did a quick dry brush of some red.
Okay.
Just to kind of give it that little bit of an effect.
A little pop.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The skeleton.
Yeah, skeleton warriors.
I got he's got a chapter worth of Marines. And you're the abyssal dwarfs. Now we know who Arizona Sith Lord is. There we go.
We had that question last week, did we not?
Yeah.
And these are all the dwarvies.
Yeah.
I really got to clean the mat that's in my photo booth.
A little bit. You got a little flake of.
Yeah, I got to go through and wipe that down.
I haven't done my dwarfs yet. I've got to get to work on my dwarfs. But dude, speed paint for when you're doing board games, like this is one of those weird things I get into. It's like, do I really want to put that much effort behind board games?
Quite frankly, they haven't been. Like I said, now that I have the time, I mean, I've been running around with all the stuff with my brother and everything else. I just haven't had the chance to get things, and then this whole car thing I'm dealing with. But I finally got some free time. I'm really cranking through them.
using my gamer tag on Discord. Okay. No, but like, do you really want to put that much effort in creating like centerpiece, masterfully painted board game pieces, but then you put them on like a board game?
Yeah.
It's like, I like speed paint for this stuff. It's just, you get them out, you get them done, you move on.
And that is it.
And that is, ta-da.
We had a ton of pictures, and apparently with David uploading a bunch of stuff, I'll have even more next week.
Yeah.
And thank you, Joe, for putting all your pics up. That was awesome. Look forward to seeing the rest.
So I've been clearing off my desk. So I do have but I'm only going to do like a few pictures because it's a lot of doors. So, did you get the terrain pack that goes with Dungeon Saga?
I'm not yet.
Okay.
I don't have any right now. So
one of the game uses a lot. You know, obviously, it's a dungeon crawl, so there's a lot of doors and bookcases. Those are like the big things you're going to use a lot of. So I just have a splattering. I got like all this scattered terrain on my desk right now, kind of taking me over.
You know what the hardest part about this project is?
What's that?
When they're all done, is finding where they fit in here.
They didn't give you a roadmap, like a.
I have to go through and trial and error.
Yeah, some companies will do like a photo of the tray with all where the models are all at, so that way you can go in and do it. A new channel for the hobby area. I don't. What do we need a new channel for the hobby area? Oh,
David, IM us and let us know what you're looking for, and we'll do it.
Yeah, need a new channel. Your desk.
That's not a bad idea.
Do photos of your desk. Yes, my desk.
You'll be happy to know, Mike, that I'm the one that's fuzzy now.
Yeah, well, I think your camera just changed focus.
Yeah, probably did because I slid back.
Yeah,
I probably hate webcams.
Yeah, well, I don't like autofocus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I prefer to let me focus my camera, please. Jeff has blacked out.
I did that on purpose to see if
I know you wanted to see if it'd refocus. It's not.
It's not refocusing.
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever. It's technical.
But I'm yanking all my stuff out of the I'm like the big box that Dungeon Saga comes in is basically it's garbage. So I'm taking all the miniatures and putting them into banker boxes because I'm magnetizing, like everything's got magnet sheets on the bottom, and I'm magnetizing all the miniatures. And there's really not much content to Dungeon Saga as far as like there's a few books, obviously dice, and there's a few there's not a lot of markers, there's a few markers, and unlike Hero Quest, which is like you lay down like and also Descent, where you lay down like a corridor in a room and things like it's just it's more like Hero Quest, where it's just like boards,
right?
It's like a board game style thing. So
yeah, I've looked through the rules. I really got into the when I did the Judgment Eternal Champions.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, ooh, but I've switched that part of my brain off. I'm not going to chase this one down for myself. Not going to happen. So I just got too much stuff going on.
Yeah, but it is if you do, it's a fun little game.
It seems like it.
It's a dungeon. I love dungeon crawling. It's just easy. It's I like the element of surprise. Like you flip the door, you do a corridor, a room, you go into it, and you just don't know what you're going to expect all the time.
Right. No, absolutely.
I think that's probably why I like Hero Quest or Warhammer Quest so much.
It's awesome. It's really good.
Well, there's a total element of surprise. It's you do the power phase and you roll the 1, and now you get an event, and you got to follow the event, and then you're just going through, and you just don't know what's because you're pulling from that event deck.
Right.
Obviously, when it first released, the event deck was small, but over time, that event deck has gotten really thick.
Got huge. Yeah, absolutely.
You just don't know what you're gonna get, and I like that element of surprise.
Right. No, I get it.
And some games we move along, and some games we're just gone. And yesterday was one of those. We didn't do well. I fell in the pit, and the dwarf was already dead, and the rope was gone, and that was it.
There you go. Game over.
Game over. I can't get out of the pit. I've become one of those skeletons that you just painted.
waiting for your part in Thriller.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get any painting done, but we had a lot of photos to go over.
I couldn't have done camera work today. What you're not seeing in this area here is just a mess.
Maybe David's right. We need to start a new channel of what's your desk look like.
Well, no, we have to. I think he wants us to put a place on Discord.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Your studio up. So yeah, that's not a bad idea.
No, show us your desk.
Yeah, mine would be a mess right now. But I'm given hope because every time I watch Bill Payne play on Tuesdays, I see how David's desk is. And I mean, Dave would even. They were commenting because I put that picture up of when I got the new racks in. And then Jake was commenting on it, and then Dave showed his tub of paints. So,
Ellen was that way. Ellen Gorilla with a brush.
Right,
so
right.
I had to look at his sticker. I haven't heard from him because he moved out of state.
Yep.
Phenomenal painter. Like he's
fantastic.
Gold Demon level. What's the Slayer sword level or whatever the sword is, brush. Like he is that level of a painter. However, whenever he showed his desk, it was just paint thrown all over the place. I'm like, my mind doesn't function that way.
Right.
How can you how?
Well, mine is when I start a project, my table is neat. And then I'll start painting, and then I get the mess. And then when I finish what I'm working on, I clean it up, and then I start the next project.
Right. Yeah, you kind of in the moment of artistic, juices flowing, you're just like grabbing paint, you're doing. Alan just lived in that world.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it here. Apparently Dave does too. So maybe there's something to be said about the disorganization. Maybe it just helps with creative juices.
I don't know. Could be.
I don't know. So
all I do know is I have to get ready to go to my grandson's ball game.
All right, everybody. We are going to cut out of here. You good for next weekend?
Absolutely.
All right. Yep. November 2nd, I will not be available.
Okay.
That's still a couple weeks away, but November 2nd, there's the community garage sale taking place in Surprise.
Right.
I'm going to dump all my Hot Wheels out there and sell off some Hot Wheels. So
you have one or two.
One or two Hot Wheels that I need to sell. So anyways, we're going to get out of here. We will talk to you all next week. So have a good week. Bye.
See you guys.